Hi, I am Stephen Gandolfi, coming to you yet again from the tasting room here at Westport Whiskey and Wine. Talk about this week's flight. Before we do that, let's touch base. We've got a busy week next week. We've got events Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday night, Brian Talley from Talley Vineyards will be here. We're pouring his wine, talking about stuff. It's going to be $15 a head. That's going to be a killer wine tasting. I don't know if you've ever had any of the Talley stuff, but I mean, true, just, you know, textbook California style wines. Absolutely delicious. On Tuesday night, the folks from Pinhook will be here. We've still got our Pinhook Rye barrel pick that we picked, stacked up outside. They'll be signing bottles, pouring Pinhook. You know, be a gay old time. Just come on by. Wednesday night is Compass Box. That's right. Oh man. Okay, this is the tasting I'm most excited for next week. John Glasser from Compass Box will be here. We'll be talking about blended whiskeys. We'll be pouring some of his stuff. That's $15 a person. I assume that is going to sell out pretty quickly. I would jump on that as quickly as possible. Thursday night, I will be here in the bar doing bar night, and it'll be beer back. I'm not bringing beer back. It's going to be bourbon and a shot. I'm sorry, beer and a shot. So we'll do different things. We'll have different beers with different spirit backs, or different spirits with different beer backs as an actual pairing, so you can kind of see that it doesn't just have to be a Boilermaker. You can also partake in what the Germans call the gentleman's menu, which is like brandy and a beer. It's pretty good. Anyway, getting on to this week's flight, Single Barrel Rye. We're going to start off here with Michter's Rye with the bizarre proof of 84.8. I'm not quite sure why they chose that one. But so Michter's, for the most part, I think most people know, is deeply in bed with Old Forester. Most of the Michter's product got started at Old Forester. I don't think this is Old Forester rye. You know, they've got their rye now, but this has been on the shelves for a while. It's got some age to it. I mean, I'm going to guess 5-6 years. But it doesn't really strike me as MGP rye either, so who knows what the source on this is. But tasting profile-wise, very herby. I get dill. I get a little something camphorish. I get fennel. But above all that, there's this rich butterscotchy sweetness and a lot of just like woody, vanilla, big, rich mouthfeel. But it's a great entry point for this flight. Moving on to Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. I love pouring this for people blind because you put it on the bar, people go, oh, Jack Daniel's. Man, this is a delicious rye. So we're talking about 70% rye in the mash bill. So because of that, it actually skews higher rye, right, beyond the 50 to 60 that you usually see in Kentucky ryes. And it apes sort of the Indiana rye style, you know, 95% and so. But that comes across. It's sweet, rye bread, dried fruits, a hint of something peppery in there, almost like peppercorn, or like honestly, there's a flash of something right at the end that's kind of like jalapeno, not spice, but just that green pepper character, and not pyrazine like you find on Sauvignon Blanc. Like this, I don't know. It's such a tasty rye, and I really try to turn people onto it as much as possible. 94 proof. Good mouthfeel, not as heavy as you'd like. I think it might just be because of the charcoal filtering in the Lincoln County process, but it's really lean and vibrant rye as well. Moving on, I could fill books talking about Russell's Reserve Single Barrel Rye, one of my favorite ryes in the market. Similar to this, we know that Turkey does an exceptionally high rye for Kentucky. I believe they changed the recipe a few years ago. Do not quote me on that. I think it was 60%. I think they've skewed higher to 70 now. The classic profile for the Russell's Reserve: spicy tobacco, a little bit of citrus, like orange peel, orange pith kind of character, some lighter, herbier, grassy notes, and then again like rich, peppery rye notes. I mean, the rye is really, really evident in this one, kind of even in a different way than the previous two. Lastly, Wilderness Trail single barrel rye, barrel proof. Low entry proof on this is coming out of the barrel at 112. We know it's, what, 3 or 4 years old. 56% rye in the mash bill. It's a little bit lower than the last two. Higher proof though, of course. And this is just a gorgeous, sweet, spicy, grassy expression of rye. Because it's a little bit younger, it's not as round and soft as a lot of the barrel-aged ryes are or older ryes are. It doesn't have that kind of mouthfeel. But what it makes up for, or what it lacks in that sort of woody character, it makes up for in just clean rye character. And it's a great way to go out on this high proof. But yeah, that's this week's flight. Typically it would be $24.38. Let's do $15 this week. $15 for these single barrel ryes. So after you've exhausted yourself at Bourbon and Beyond, come in, recuperate, do some ryes, get ready for Louder Than Life next week. Rock and roll.